Just ahead on CTV News, the school year is just around the corner. Find out what vaccines your child needs. Plus, AAA is hosting a special night for the ladies. And it's time to meet our Pet of the Week. These stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us for CTV News. It's Wednesday, August 14th. I'm Michaela Newton. Our top story tonight, Maryland Congressman Steny Hoyer says he's expecting to resume his normal schedule next week, and this comes after suffering a mild stroke on Sunday. Now, Hoyer's office released a statement saying he has responded well to treatment and has no lingering symptoms. Now, Hoyer, who is 85 years old, represents Maryland's 5th district. He's been in Congress since 1981. And COVID hospitalizations are up in Maryland. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention also reports that half of the U.S., including Maryland, have very high amounts of COVID-19 virus, which has been identified in wastewater collections. Now, hospitalizations have been increasing in Maryland since May, when the number stood at 38. As of Monday, that number was 245, and of those, 48 are in Montgomery County. Now, despite the increase in daily cases, they're nowhere near the daily COVID cases of 2022, when the state regularly reached 2,000 per day. Now, did you know that in Maryland, your kindergartner is required to be vaccinated against certain dangerous diseases before they can step foot in a classroom? But as vaccine misinformation rises, more Maryland students are starting school without those immunizations. CTV's Mariah Jalad sits down with a doctor of family medicine to talk about the importance of these disease protections.
The first day of school for Prince George's County students is less than 2 weeks away. And if you're the parent of a kindergartner, you're probably getting them prepared with new clothes, backpacks, pencils, and notebooks. But there's one more thing to put on your checklist. Maryland state law requires kindergartners to start school with immunizations for more than 5 different diseases.
In the 2020 to 2021 school year, only 90% of kindergartners in Maryland receive vaccinations for diseases like tetanus, polio, measles, and hepatitis B. The target for that age group is 95%.
I believe that 90%, it puts us about 5 to 7 points below pre-pandemic vaccination rates.
And what do those rates mean for the student population?
250,000 children unprotected against preventable illness. And so that's probably the most important reason for them to receive the vaccines that the schools are requiring.
Vaccines affect not just your child's health, but their education. If your child's immunizations aren't up to date by the first day of school, they won't be able to attend classes unless you have a medical or religious exemption.
Protecting your kids and protecting their peers is really important to also decrease absenteeism from school.
And school-age kids aren't the only people at risk.
A lot of these diseases, especially in children that are younger than 5 or really vulnerable, like pregnant women or elderly women, can die from these diseases. And so I think it's really important for us to highlight the fact that these are preventable disease processes, and we're able to do it with a vaccine that works. We do have some vaccine hesitancy, I would say. Some people are a little resistant to receiving vaccines, or they just don't have all the information.
The best way to understand what you don't know about vaccines is by asking your physician.
I think that it's really important for people, parents, caregivers, to advocate and ask questions during the visit. Every time you encounter the doctor, it's okay to ask a question about your preventative health. Is there anything I'm missing or anything you would suggest? I think it's also important to find a healthcare provider that you trust, somebody that welcomes you asking questions for things that you Googled or found on the internet or found in conversations with friends or family, instead of just dismissing them, so that you all can have a more high-level conversation about the vaccines that will help you make a better decision.
Mariah Jalad, CTV News.
And for more information on what's required for Prince George's County students, you can visit PGCTV.org and search immunizations. And we now know the name of the victim killed in a Beltsville stabbing last week. The victim is 41-year-old Alejandro Vasquez Cordova. Police found him unresponsive at the 10,000 block of Baltimore Avenue on August 5th. Now, once on the scene, they found Vasquez Cordova suffering from stab wounds, and he was pronounced dead on the scene. And officers found suspect Francisco Ayala Alvarenga shortly after and took him into custody. He's being charged with first and second degree murder and is being held on a no bond status. And 31-year-old Troy Cleveland was found guilty of second-degree murder for shooting Sean Spence in his Capitol Heights driveway in November 2019. Spence was killed after confronting Cleveland, who threatened his wife with a gun. Cleveland turned himself in 2 years later and confessed, and he was also convicted of first-degree assault and using a gun. And the MNCPPC Park Police in Prince George's County is announcing their annual Park Police Community Day. It's a celebration of unity between officers and residents. And this free event is on August 14th from 5 to 8 p.m. at Watkins Regional Park in Upper Marlboro.
So for us, because we care is our motto, it's who we are, it's what we do. It's a great way to showcase our officers who are part of the community when we go and we worship and we live and we serve and we coach. So it's a non-enforcement way to give back to the community, to foster relationships, and to show the community who we are as an organization.
And this year's event features fun activities for all ages, including games, entertainment, and a chance to meet your local officers. Well, it's been more than 5 years, but a Maryland lawmaker has been elected to a bipartisan committee that serves state lawmakers and their staffs. Now, State Senate President Pro Tem Malcolm Augustine of Prince George's County has been elected as an at-large member of the Executive Committee of the National Conference of State Legislatures. Now, that organization serves more than 7,300 lawmakers and 30,000 legislative staff, providing them access to policy research and training resources, among other things. Augustine was elected to the post at the organization's legislative meeting in Kentucky last week. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Michaela Newton. Still to come, 2 metro buildings just received gold ratings from LEED. I'll tell you how after the break.
I wish people knew that when you live in a small town like mine, it's much harder to find friends with common interests, especially ones my age. I often feel really alone.
Same here. Seems like every time we finally settle somewhere, I have to pack up and move again. By the time I make a friend, a real friend, I have to say goodbye to them.
I totally get it. I live in a big city, but it can feel just as lonely. It's tough, but it gets easier.
Honestly,
I totally get what you're going through.
it's nice to know that you feel the same.
You enjoyed my story. I really enjoyed your story as well.
Welcome back. Governor Wes Moore has announced a substantial investment to enhance energy efficiency in Maryland public schools. $24 million will be directed to 31 different projects in 13 different school districts. Now, Prince George's and Anne Arundel County Public Schools both are a part of the districts who will receive a share of that funding. The governor hopes that this plan will not only enhance energy efficiency, but reduce operating costs as a whole. And the effort to go green definitely has its benefits. The metro buildings at Eisenhower and New Carrollton have both received gold certifications from rating system LEED. Now, LEED, which stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, is the world's most widely used green building rating system. Now, some key features that led to Metro receiving the gold certifications include energy-saving LED lighting and controls, having plenty of access to natural daylight, and water bottle filling stations on every floor. Now, Metro General Manager and CEO Randy Clark says at Metro, our biggest contribution to the region is moving people efficiently and in an environmentally friendly way. And good news for college bike riders. College Park and the University of Maryland are partnering up to extend their campus bike path to the Rhode Island Avenue Trolley Trail. The plan will cost $3 million to complete, and as of the need for off-campus housing increases in the development of the Purple Line, the demand for accessible transportation to campus could increase as well. And AAA Mid-Atlantic is hosting an event for ladies and their cars. It's called Girls Night at the Garage, and it takes place this Friday at AAA's Crofton Center in Game Rolls. Now, technicians will teach attendees about a host of car care topics like oil changes, cooling systems, tire and wheel alignment, and more.
And what it is essentially, while it's, called Girls Night at the Garage, everyone is welcome to attend, but it's basically a fun night for ladies in particular to get an idea of some very basics when it comes to car maintenance. If you're planning on getting in one of those last minute summer road trips, again, this could be very helpful for that. Or if you're looking ahead for one of those nice fall leaf peeking trips, maybe for the weekend, you want to make sure that your car is road ready. So you're right, it's going to be a fun evening, but it's an important evening for all of us to know sort of some of the very basics when it comes to maintaining our car.
Again, Girls Night at the Garage is this Friday night from 7 to 9 o'clock at AAA's Crofton Car Care Center in Gambrills. But to register for the free event, call 410-809-2106. And still to come on CTV News, are you tired of jumping through hoops to cancel those subscriptions? Well, the government is on your side. Find out how they plan to help consumers when we return.
The mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. You may not even know you have it, but you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand. With early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
If you tried to cancel a subscription in the last few years, whether for a magazine or gym membership, you may have noticed it's not as easy as signing up. Now, several U.S. federal agencies are working together to make it easier for Americans to click unsubscribe, the unsubscribe button, for unwanted memberships and recurring payments. Now, the initiative, dubbed Time is Money, also aims to crack down on the multiple ways companies waste consumers' time through paperwork, long hold times on the telephone, and the many steps it takes to cancel those subscriptions. And for all you crab lovers out there, you might want to keep a hold of those shells before you throw them out. A new study from the University of Maryland shows that crab shells can be used to keep your produce fresh. Now, the blue crab shells contain nanocrystals that absorb and remove pesticides from fruit. It also allows the fruit to stay fresh longer because of its antibacterial properties. A professor involved in the research says that this will improve food safety associated with our daily life. And you've heard of house insurance and car insurance, but what about Melt Insurance? Today and today only, Baskin-Robbins is rolling out Melt Insurance, a one-day promotion designed to turn heat into a sweet treat. And here's how it works. Consumers or customers get to enjoy a free single scoop of ice cream if theirs melts today, no matter where it's from. But make sure you download and create an account in the Baskin-Robbins app and add a single scoop to your cart for pickup at the local shop. Then apply the promo code MELT at checkout. And it's Wednesday, you know that. You know what that means. It's time for our pet of the week. Meet Ice. She is a 1-year-old Siberian Husky. She has been at the shelter since August 9th. Animal management says Ice is looking for her forever home.
She should be in a family that's very playful, very affectionate. I believe somebody that has a yard, because Huskies, they thrive in the wintertime, so she's going to love to be outside in the cold 24/7. We've been really busy these past few days. Well, last week as well. Like I said, all the adoption fees are waived, so everybody's trying to get all the dogs out.
And if you would like to adopt Ice or any of her furry friends, call Animal Management at 301-780-7200. And still to come on CTV News, Simon Buggs is here with our Wednesday sports page, and he's talking football from high school to the league. Simon, what's going on today?
Michaela, high school football is officially back. Hey everyone, don't go anywhere because I got the chance to speak to head coach Steve Rapp and some players from the Wise High School football team about their first practice of the season. That story and more coming right up. Stay right there.
Why is just a starting line, for the true self blooms only when we find our purpose. What makes us tick? Below the surface. My why is diversity and unity, a safe space in my community. Living with sincerity, giving every day my everything. With my why, I stand strong, seen and supported all along. For some, their why is a summer under stars, memories and moments, connections near and far. Why is the before work hustle, an after school home, a section of my block, a corner to call my own. Our reason why is united, undivided, seeking understanding. Here, a handshake is a promise. All our hearts are dancing. Laughing is our song. It's kinship, friendship, tide rising with the ship. It's a million faces in a mirror and everyone belongs. Find your why for a better us.
I'm the Big C.
What is the Big C?
I'm here to tell you about skin cancer. Skin cancer is the cancer you can see. If we see something new, changing, or unusual, that could be skin cancer.
Is there skin cancer on me right now?
I'm not a dermatologist, but you know who is?
Yeah.
Your dermatologist.
Yes.
You gotta get checked, girl.
Do I?
Yes! Everybody has to get checked. See the Big C today.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
What's up, sports fans? Grab a seat because it's time for your Wednesday sports page. We start with some exciting news from the world of high school football.
The road to repeating as state champs began earlier today for the Wise High School football squad as they had their first fall practice of the year. With the team practicing drills and coaches yelling at players, it was clear that Pumas football is finally back. I caught up with some players from the team and they told me how they think practice went.
Practice went good. We picking up the tempo. First day back out, my last senior practice for all of us. We've been doing good, been competing with each other, making each other better, getting ready for our first game.
Practice went well. Since the start, when we first started in the weight room, it was good tempo. So I knew when we come out here, it would be good tempo, and that's what happened. It was good tempo. Guys were competing, and we were just getting better for this to be the first practice. For the first practice, had a good practice.
Not only is it a new season for the team, but it's also a new era as well, as this is the first season for Steve Rapp as the head coach of the squad. Rapp was previously the Pumas offensive coordinator before being promoted, and as he heads into his first season at the helm of the team, he's feeling calm, cool, and collected.
Man, nothing changes but the weather, big dog. You know what I'm saying? It's just another day on the grind for me. Now it's just, when you're sitting at the table, now you just got the final say. That's it. I think more or less Coach Parrish did a great job laying the foundation of the program, right? And with me being here for 12 seasons with him, I feel like I shared in building the process to where we are now. So I would tell you it's a continuation, right, with a couple tweaks. Don't have to bust the buildings down, maybe just change the windows.
I also spoke to quarterback Eric Wedge along with Young and Brown, and the trio all believe that Rapp is the right man for the job.
I'm confident in that too. Like Coach Rapp, like Lo said, he been in big games already. It's just a bigger step for him, and I feel like he's ready.
I feel great. I feel like it will be a different air. Like a different air in my head. But things will be the same. Coach Rapp, he's a good guy. He knows what it takes to win, and he just know what he's going to do.
I 100% trust him. He's been working his magic, doing what he needed to do, making us better as a program, doing what we need to make us better young men, put us in the right position for life. I completely trust him to make the right decision going forward.
Good luck to the Pumas in their quest to get back to the state championship. Meanwhile, yesterday, CTV Sports was at Ravens training camp covering the defending AFC North champions. And we got a chance to talk to some former Maryland football players who are fighting for a roster spot. Bryce Parker has more.
The sights and sounds of fans, players, and big plays are back at Ravens training camp. And as Todd Monken's second year as offensive coordinator gears up, there's been a lot of focus on the development of last year's MVP, Lamar Jackson.
Well, you would hope it's only going to get better, and it has. You know, we've had a great offseason, not only individually but systematically, and he's been great.
When looking at the field, it's hard to miss that the Ravens added the biggest running back in the league this offseason. But what you might have missed is that there's two former Maryland Terrapins who got their first preseason action this past weekend.
And just like playing in the game was like a surreal feeling because you dream about it as a kid growing up, like, oh my God, the NFL. And like playing in the NFL was just like, damn, I'm here. It's like it was a blessing.
Getting out there for the first time, it was just a great experience to play against this type of talent. And I mean, I just was trying to make plays, you feel me?
Bullock and Brady are both Maryland natives who grew up watching and rooting for the Ravens every single Sunday. And now they get to wear their favorite team's logo on the biggest stage.
Actually being here right now, it's just like, just taking it all in, just taking it moment by moment, day by day. So definitely a blessing.
You know, a lot of people probably wouldn't like being in the same place my whole life, but I mean, just the support I've gotten from the fans, family, and friends, you know, I can't ask for anything more than that. And I mean, it's, you know, I'm trying to make the most of it.
With both Bullock and Brady going undrafted, the mental and physical resilience needed to make the 53-man roster will need to persevere throughout training camp.
During training camp, just stick through it. Days get long, so just take it play by play, minute by minute, and don't look ahead. Just take it day by day.
With being undrafted, I feel like I do have a chip on my shoulder, and I feel like I have to prove to everyone else, you know, why I think I'm, you know, who I am, and that's, you know, a great safety.
As we continue to watch Bo and Corey's successes, they strive to make this Ravens roster. We know that their hard work and their dedication will be followed closely by the Maryland community. From Owings Mills, I'm Bryce Parker, CTV Sports.
Thank you, Bryce. The Ravens will take on the Atlanta Falcons at home this Saturday. Sticking with Ravens news, star tight end Mark Andrews was involved in a car accident this morning. The three-time Pro Bowler was on his way to the Under Armour Performance Center in Baltimore when it happened. Andrews was evaluated by the Ravens medical staff and didn't suffer any apparent injuries. He later joined the team for morning meetings. Also, it was reported that offensive line coach Joe DeAlessandris was hospitalized over the weekend for an illness, and he will require ongoing treatment for an extended period of time. Our thoughts and prayers are with you, Joe, and we hope you have a speedy recovery. And that wraps up your Wednesday sports page.
All right, Simon, thanks so much. Before we go, let's take a look at our 3-day weather forecast. You may see some fog on the roads tonight, so make sure you drive carefully. Thursday and Friday, we have beautiful days on the horizon. We're looking at a high of 88 for both days. Saturday, we'll have a high of 87 and a low of 72, but be prepared. We have a 50% chance of rain in the afternoon. And finally, a look at our community calendar. If you love a good murder mystery, the Bowie Playhouse has a new show, and opening night is this Friday. Arsenic and Old Lace is the story of a drama critic whose engagement announcement is paused when he discovers a corpse in his elderly aunt's window seat. Now, this show runs from Friday until September 8th, but for more information or tickets, visit bctheater.com or call 301-809-3078. And that's all the time we have. Thanks so much for joining us for CTV News. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.